going on, everybody? Live talking about why Dorian is the best mode ever. Now, you may know that I'm a bit of a Lydian man myself, but they're so connected, especially kind of when you think of Lydian and its relative minor and stuff like that. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the Dorian mode, what it is, how to use it, and then I'll answer some questions if anybody has any right after that. So what's the Dorian mode? Basically, it's a minor scale with a sharp 6. I was just playing A minor, and then I was taking A minor's sharp 6, otherwise known as its major 6. What's going on, everybody? I know, right? So one way to think about that is I always think of, to find the 6, the sharp 6 or the major 6 of anything, I think of the relative minor of its major thing. So even though we're in A minor, it's like, well, what's the 6 of A minor? I could count through the A minor scale, like A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. I really just kind of think relative minor, F sharp, add it. So easy way to add the sharp 6 note to A minor chord is just take your pinky, put on the 2nd fret, right? So now I got A. Hey, from Muskegon, graduate of Grand Valley and Grand Haven High School. So I know I've been to Muskegon many times. I look like Trevor. Was that from Grand Theft Auto? Is that right? Yeah. So anyways, basically when we add an F sharp to an A, we get A minor 6. Okay, so we want to make a chord progression that kind of revolves around that A minor 6 chord, right? So I want to use other chords in the key of A minor, but I want to stay away from the key of C, because then it kind of always makes everything about it. You know what I mean? It's that attention-seeking one chord in the major scale, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm taking A minor 6 to a D suspended to a C major 7, but with that F sharp. We talked about how that F sharp was kind of special right there. So that F sharp just tells us that we're not in the key of C when you put it on top of a C. So I like how that kind of brings us back to A minor, because I'm all about chord progressions that don't rely super heavily on dominant 7 chords to get us back to where we go. I think that right there is an interesting way to get back to what we're saying is home. Oh my gosh, Jack, my man! Oh, I love it. The donations. I appreciate it, man. I see you commenting a lot too. I appreciate all the support, right? So, like I was saying, I love you back, Eric. I know the hair is wild. I just got out of the shower. I'm a little wet. Coming in wet for you guys on a Thursday night with some A minor 6 chords. That's how I roll. So back to the point I was trying to make. As long as we're, a lot of people say, all right, if you want movement, if you want to push a chord progression somewhere, always find the 5th of where you are. A minor, A, B, C, D, E. E would be the 5th away. Turn that into a dominant 7 chord, you get E7. Right? Very traditional. Okay? So yeah, definitely sets it up, but my whole vibe with how I use writing chord progressions is just trying to keep it interesting, but still have it connected, but not totally, traditional. So I like that A minor 6 to a D and a C. Now they can be both major chords, because essentially we're playing in the key of G major, right? But we're staying away from a G. So D, C, with that F sharp. Maybe I can... That F sharp I'm using to glue all these chords together. D. And I think that just kind of, helps solidify everything and make kind of a cool chord progression, right? See, Nathan knows what's up. F sharp for the win. look like I've just been surfing or something. Thank you. I try to give off surfer vibes without ever actually having to get on a surfboard. So success. I know, right? Now let's do this in another key. All right. Let's go to its fifth. Let's travel through the circle of fifths or whatever and go to E. E minor. I want to take E minor 6. So what I have to do is I have to find the 6th note in the key of E major, which would be like what is that, C sharp? I don't even know. I'm trying to think. Or not E major. What am I doing? We're doing E minor, so D major. Okay. So I'm finding the 7 there in D major, right? So we got a C sharp. I can add that to an E minor. I can do that there. I can do this here. But I want to do it more of an open type deal, right? This is the minor 6 chord that most commonly gets used. Like let's say my root note is the 12th fret on the low E string. And then I've got my ring finger and pinky on the 12th fret of the G and B string. Then my pointer finger on the C sharp on the D string. But let's try to do this in an open position, right? So I gotta take an E minor chord, which again, this is the 2 chord in the key of D, which is E. Yeah, I see what you're saying here. Let's find a way to add a C sharp. Oh my gosh, the 4th fret on the B string. How nasty is that? So let's take that and let's add that to some other chords in the key of D, right? We can do this. E minor 6, G major 7, A7. Alright, so that'd be like an example of maybe E Dorian. And if you want to solo over it, you just think of, let's go back to the A one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 7, 9. Just think of where that is compared to your root note, and then just start sprinkling that that major 6, that sharp 6 in your solos, and then you'll just be playing with house money, right? See, Carl has scratched the surface of chords. He knows what's up. The dissonance is beautiful, Nathan. Thank you very much. That progression sounds like you dropped your ice cream. What, this one? I guess so. I can see that. Carl, you're totally gonna dig deeper. Do a sick pentatonic scale, bro. Yeah. Pentatonics on top of whatever that E minor thing was. Extending the chords, right? Because it's all about extending chords. I think that's probably one of the most... learning how chord extensions work is, I would have to say, probably the biggest leap that I made as far as my just overall musicianship. So, yeah. Whatever guitar that I recommend, Eric Francis is gonna buy. Ready, go. Taylor 614 Builder's Edition. Might be kind of expensive, you know, but whatever. Was I doing the E minor major 7? Maybe I probably was. Did I get that wrong? What am I doing? E minor 6, E minor major 7. Oh, with the D sharp? I was playing a D sharp. There, yeah. Yeah, there it is. That's what I was looking for. C sharp, D sharp. Forget what I said. Minor major 6 7 is better anyway. That's great. You know what? I've just learned something myself, that I prefer this way better than this. Excellent. Built it. Oh, the Taylors. Yeah. For sure. How can you add 6 to the chord shapes you already know? You know, 6 are interesting. Like a lot of people say that. Like that whole like that kind of 6 thing. I don't know. I guess it's just learning the scale degrees. If you think of again, I think a lot of learning guitar is based on knowing where your bass notes are on the E and the A string, right? So I always think of like, if here's G, there's my 6. So root note, down 2 strings, back, right? Because I think of the major scales like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So I always think of a root note approach, so like that, which would be the same as kind of going down the higher strings. That's why like a lot of people will be like, all right, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, so on and so forth, like there. I don't really play that way, as you can see, because I'm not even doing this correctly or well. But yeah, I think of 6 as relative to the root. So, you know, major, minor, stuff like that. So, whatever. That's my answer to that question. Which guitar chord phone app would you recommend? I guess I use the D'Addario one. I've just always used that. I don't really know anything new. It's like that was a free one. That was free way back in the day. And yeah, that's just all I really use it for is sometimes if I just want to see what the traditional naming of a chord would be, I'll just kind of type in whatever it is I'm playing, if it's some kind of weird thing, and usually it just says no answer. So it's probably not the best chord app. So I'm sure someone in the comments has a way better chord app idea than I do. But yeah. Plus and minus benefits of coded strings. So Jerry Wilson asks, I really kind of only use coded acoustic guitar strings. I love the elixirs. I generally play on Elixir 12s, 11 custom lights if it's the live shows that I'm doing, or back when I used to do those. Apparently those are going to start up again soon, so stay tuned. But the pluses are that they last way longer, they're easier on your fingers, and they eliminate string noise, or string squeak, right? You know, there'll still be some, but much less than uncoated guitar strings. The downside is that they cost more, but over the life of how long they last, you actually end up saving money, I think. And some people just prefer the tone of uncoated strings. I don't. I like the sound of coated strings better. This is probably just because it's what I'm used to now. So to me, there are no downside. There's no downside to coated strings, but that's just for me. A lot of people say that, you know, the tone of uncoated strings is superior. The tone zone. Get in the tone zone. Is hearing guitar and hearing yourself talk similar? You don't like the sound of your voice, but others think it's fine. That's interesting. I will say that for a listener, when it's not exactly like hearing your voice, but you know, if I'm playing, right, where my ears are situated, kind of back and above where the sound is being projected, is probably like one of the worst places to hear the actual sound of your guitar, right? That's why you'll hear a lot of people kind of like bend over like this if they're playing live and they're trying to like hear something. So generally you have kind of like the worst seat in the house to listening to yourself play. So sometimes I'll like if I'm teaching and, you know, me and my student have like a similar kind of guitar setup, and I'll play something and then he or she'll play it back, I'll be like, wow, you just played it way better than I did. Just because I'm at a much more optimal vantage point for listening to it. So to a certain extent, I guess that is kind of similar, how you think that, you know, your voice might sound a certain way in your head, but you're actually not hearing yourself speak. You're hearing it from the inside, you know, your ears are hearing whatever. So yeah, I guess there are similarities, but I'm not a scientist. I can't even tell the difference between a minor 6 and a minor major 7 chord. Can you make C major to C minor sound great? Oh, for sure, of course I can. Start on G. Go to B major. Does anyone know what's coming next? C major. Any Lana Del Rey fans out there? C minor. There you go. C major to C minor. Just sounded great. You know what's funny? I think I got a comment the other day on one of my Elliott Smith tutorials or something. I forget which song it even was, but it was about, it's something to that extent where one of the last chords goes from minor to major. And I was like, yeah, you can think about it as a parallel minor thing. And the comment was like, actually, sir, that's a plagal cadence. When it's like, okay. So, you know, if you turn the 4 chord from a major to a minor and go back to a 1, then like, yeah. Oh, was that was it? Between the Bars has a C major? I think it was, yeah, it's probably. I forget what key it played. Okay, I'm thinking of F major to F minor, which is the 4 chord, right? Yeah, in C. So yeah, that probably was exactly it. Good call. Good call, my man. Owen Smith. Yes, excellent. Wild times. Did you enjoy how I had to play the entire song to kind of figure out what part he was talking about? Because I can't do it off the top of my head. Plagal cadence as compared to parallel major and minor. Whatever. I think the music theory terms are so precious. They're so precious. Can't you really think of like parallel minor as just a minor version of any major chord running parallel alongside it as compared to like the key that you're in? I don't know. Again, I suppose far be it for me to decide what the correct definition of parallel major and minor is, but can I play Eruption on acoustic? Absolutely not. No. But I should probably install a Floyd Rose on this. Just got here. How does one begin to sing? Do you just start belting it out of the park or something and see if you suck at rhythm? Suck at it right away, or just find me your rhythm card? So singing. Yeah, anybody can learn to sing, first of all. It's not like the only way you can do it is if you're born with it. I will say, I feel like I was a really good singer as a child. And then I grew up, and then I had a long period of time where I was like really bad, but I had the confidence of being in the school plays and thinking I was a good singer. And then I eventually kind of came full circle and became passable again just by doing it a lot. I think the best way to do it is, because you've got 2 different things you're competing against when you first try to start playing and singing at the same time, is being able to play and sing at the same time, right? So that's kind of like a multitasking type thing, where you're doing one thing, and maybe you're trying to keep a steady rhythm and still speak or sing, right? That's one thing, right? So if you can talk and play, that's a good start, right? Are you sure you're not talking like this? But yeah, I think the next thing is just to be able to sing on pitch, right? Easier said than done, and that requires practice. You know, it's one thing to be able to just tune your guitar up, and you know that when you hit the frets, if fretted correctly, you're gonna hit a note that's in tune. It's another thing to make sure your vocal cords are essentially tuned to pitch. How you do that, some people are just naturally excellent at that. I feel like I was not. How you do that is you practice. You practice matching the pitch of an instrument would be a great way to do it. So let's say I want to sing the G major scale. Great way to do it is you can sing the names of the notes. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, sharp, E. And try to match it with whatever you're doing, right? Oh my gosh, Andre is here. Speaking of great singers, an incredible singer just arrived in the chat, right? So I really don't, I guess sing through a scale, G, A, B, C, D, C, B, G, A, G, A, B, C, D, C, B, A, G. It's one way to do it. I think separating them, like in arpeggio, that's how most vocalists warm up. They'll do like a, all right, so that's just a G major arpeggio. So 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1. That's one thing, you know? And then you can maybe go up a little more. 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1, 1, 3, 5, 8, 3, 1, 2. And then eventually, you know, you just train that muscle, your vocal cord, into being on pitch most of the time. Yeah, G2, that's low. I get it. I got range. I got range for days. Yeah, it's funny. Can you play Cat Stevens' Lady d'Arbinville? I don't know that song. I have no idea what that is. I could play like what's another cat? The Wind. Is that the Wind? I used to know that song. That's a good one. Now we're talking about Andrea's hair. Samuel Abhishek. Sorry if I most likely said your name wrong, but shout out, yes. 7 chords, are they in the key? A minor 7, is that in the key of A minor? Yes. So any key has 7 notes. All 7 of those notes can become a 7th chord, right? There's different types of different types of 7th chords. There's major chords, major 7 chords, minor 7 chords, dominant 7 chords, minor 7 flat 5 chords, and diminished 7th chords. I think, did I say all those? I think those are the main ones anyway. So it's good to know where they are, right? The 1, 4, and 5 degrees in any key become major chords, right? So in the key of G, C, and D are the major chords. 1 and 4 become major 7 chords. G major 7, C major 7, and the 5 becomes a dominant 7 chord. All the minor chords become minor 7 chords. So A minor 7, B minor 7, E minor 7. And then that 7th note, F sharp, becomes a minor 7 flat 5 chord. Some people will put a diminished 7 chord on there. Diminished 7 chords aren't technically in that key, but whatever, you know, you can use them that way. So that's the 30-second explanation of that. An A minor 7 is an A minor chord with an extension, so yes, the key. Yep, exactly. Exactly right. Can I make a progression using 5 major chords? Of course I can. In fact, I was doing this last night because I was working on some stuff from the new Andrea and Sean project. Andrea will be happy to hear that I started working on our next song. I didn't even tell her this, by the way. Not Juliana. And I think in this key it's gonna go like. Where do I go? No. Now it's not going to be acoustic guitar. We've got C, E flat, right? Yeah. B flat, A flat. There's 4 major chords. F major. There's 5 major chords in one progression. So we've got C, C to E flat, B flat, A flat, C, E flat, B flat, A flat, F major to A flat. Something like that. I'm thinking about turning that 3rd chord into a major 7 chord. And I think we just did. So there you go. That's one. Yeah, all the major chords sound great. Thank you, Jesus. There you go. So you're caught up. Come to India someday. You know, I would love to. That would be awesome. In fact, my buddy Ravinder, if you're watching out there, I'm so salty at him because the deal always was when he got married, he was going to have a traditional Indian wedding back in his hometown, and we would all go and do the whole thing. And then he just eloped. And he's like, guys, guess what? I got married because we moved out to California, and he sent me like a picture of it. I'm like, what the hell is this? I didn't congratulate him because he broke the bro code, because we had always planned, and now that's fine. I understand that plans change. But just run it by your bros. Don't try to sneak this through. See, Andrea knows Rav. But yeah, a little salty that he just decided to elope and forego the traditional Indian wedding. So yeah, right? It's messed up. You're really just Exypnos. You're really going Locrian, right? Go Locrian. Does anybody really use the Locrian mode? I don't know. Are you taking anything for your addiction to major 7 chords? Why would I have to take anything? It's just the with me and major 7 chords, it's one of those things where like y'all are the weird ones. I'm just doing what should be musically just well known. The major 7 chords are always better anyways, right? Go Locrian. Hurt your ears? Bork uses Locrian? Well, that explains why her music is unlistenable. I'd like to see you bend 1.5 steps on an acoustic. Bend 1.5 steps. All right, so can I bend a B to a D? Done. There we go. Major 6 to you think major 6 is better than major 7, Jeffrey? No. Major 6 is definitely underrated for sure. What's Andrea put? Oh, if anybody needs a Shawn Mendes tutorial, go check out her channel. You know, you're not supposed to take people from the current live stream, Andrea, and then just usher them to your channel. You can let them know about it and be like, hey, after the live stream is done, why don't you go check that out? Yeah, you should be sorry. Have you told them to listen to Juliana? Yeah? Okay. Great. Excellent. Samuel, thank you so much for being a supportive subscriber. Oh, freaky cubing. Thank you. My goodness. So, all right. Do I like sus chords? Of course I like sus chords. But, Juliana is dope. What's the progression? Let's talk about Juliana, because that's the newest single that I just released with Andrea. It's a super fun song to play. Is this guitar out of tune? I feel like this guitar's out of tune now. Probably from that incredible 1.5 bend that I just did. A full 1.5. Yeah, it's the B string. That bend was so powerful it detuned the guitar. I know. Yeah. All right. We'll talk more about the modes anyway. Somebody asked about Juliana. How you play Juliana? We've got a B flat major 7 to a D minor. And then how did I play it? And then I think I played a C suspended too. To a G minor 6. Juliana, do you wanna get together, baby, underwater? It's been a long time since I saw you all alone. Juliana, it's time to come home. How do I play that? Drift away to the deepest, darkest sea. So then the chorus is just B flat, C to D minor. B flat, major 7, C major, D minor. That's basically the entire thing of Juliana, except it's like super lo-fi vibes. So really it's kind of like the one guitar just doing that. G minor 6 is great, right? You really want a tutorial for it? Because, I mean, that's the gist of it. Maybe I should make it and put it on, like, the Patreon or something, or maybe make it, like, an unlisted thing for just people who are digging it. But, My boy Fabian's texting me right now. Oh, my guy. What's up, Florida Jim? Can we play a chord which is neither major nor minor? I guess the power chord fits the description, but you're not educated enough to know. So yes, power chords are not major or minor, but that's really where you want to use suspended chords, right? A lot of times, suspended chords will imply... Oh my gosh! Oh! Hold on, everybody! Do we have a special guest here?
Do we?
I don't know. Wow.
Wow. Do I show myself?
I think you should show your face.
I'll show my face.
Guys, this is really a momentous occasion. Davidas is in the house! Oh my gosh.
How are you, Sean?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy.
Elbow bump.
Good to see you because we're being safe.
Yes, we are. This is social distancing right here.
This is usually we're much closer than this.
Yes.
Everybody.
Are we? No? Oh, no.
A Viking man, they say.
Volcano man.
I gotta say, the facial hair looks great.
Thanks. Mm-hmm. It's like you know, like once a week lawnmowers come.
Yeah.
And so this is, I fired them and they never come again.
They never come again.
And this is my lawn.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, I love it, man. You're really working it out.
I'm working and we just got back from the gym. Yeah. So.
Really?
Yeah. We've been working it out. Yeah.
You know, we got a rowing machine.
Really?
So I rowed.
You
today.
rode? How far?
So who's the real Viking?
Wow.
That's right. I rode 30 minutes far.
Wow. How fast?
I don't really know.
Well,
moderate pace. Very, you know, it's pretty fast.
As long as the speed wasn't in the negatives, you know. So that's
I burned 300 calories.
300? That's good.
Yeah.
That's a solid number.
Yeah. That's because 300.
Yeah.
The ancient warriors.
Yeah, Sparta.
I stop at 300 calories.
Gotcha. And
to honor my Spartan warrior brethren.
Cool.
That's I can't burn more.
That I hear you. I can relate to that.
Yeah. So what are you doing here, buddy?
Well, I stopped by really quick. We just got back from the gym, and I'm borrowing Sean's Acoustasonic.
The Fender Acoustasonic, you say?
Fender Acoustasonic, yes.
You know what? Let me grab it for you.
Thank you.
It's charging.
Really?
I wanted to make sure you got it on a full charge.
Oh. Whoa.
So it lasts 20 hours, this charge.
Okay.
So they say. Knowing your live streams, you might find out now.
Yeah.
How long that lasts.
Yeah, because I wanted to borrow Sean's Acoustasonic so I can use it in my live stream tonight, because live streams for me are like gigs, and that's how I know a lot about a guitar. It's when I do a gig. So this is my virtual gig. I'm probably going to go live shortly after Sean.
That's right.
Is going to end his live stream, because I don't want to compete. I'm not one of those people that comes onto a live stream and says, "Hey, come to my live stream."
Can't stand those people.
We don't do that here.
Or moderators that try to take them off of my live stream and put them into their channel. Andrea's like, "Oh, we just posted a new video. Go check it out."
But anyways,
it's like, thanks.
Always a pleasure to see you.
My guy.
A very pleasure to be a guest on your live stream. Everyone, be excellent to each other. Social distance. And listen, he has knowledge about guitar.
Oh. Andre, if you could be a great moderator and link to Davidas' channel, for those of you who don't know the man, definitely got to check his thing out tonight, because it's so good. And it hits all the bases.
All the bases. All the 4 bases. Thank you again, Sean. Now I will disappear.
Oh.
What's the disappearing melody?
As quickly as maybe the Ryders. You're gonna have a tough time getting out that way. Oh, you did it.
Let's get it. Bye, Sean.
See you guys. Have a good one. I'll see you later tonight. On the live stream.
On the live stream.
Right on. What a pleasant... I feel like this is an episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I just have, like, guests. What a pleasant surprise that was. What do I do with my pig? Anyways, you never know what's going to happen on the SD channel. It's morning, 5 a.m. and lock your doors from the Lithuanians. Yeah, Andrea, get over here. Come on. We got the Bears game. I think the Bears are playing the Bucks tonight on football. Where did my pick go? Oh, I'm so bad with this. Hold on. I wish I had another special guest to man this. All right, I'm back. What was I talking about? Suspended chords? How does that happen with picks? I'll have to rewind the tape after this and kind of get back there. But yeah. Oh my gosh, Colin. Colin's coming in for a guest appearance. Colin, why aren't you here all the time? Why don't you just like live here at this point? It's messed up. Sam, I don't need to hear that negativity for you. But yeah, that pick is for sure gone forever. I don't know. Whatever. Colin at work, sneaking the stream. Hit me up afterwards. We got to get together soon. Yeah, Floor Monster got it. Anyways, as I was saying 10 minutes ago about suspended chords being neither major nor minor, really, let's take, I guess D suspended would be the go-to one, right? So what makes it a chord major or minor is its third, all right? So D minor has a minor third of F. D major has a major third of F sharp, okay? It's a little bit about chord melody coming up here. Life is acoustic. So to take that major or minor-ness out of it, you would just make it a power chord. Just a D and an A, okay? You can do it like this, or do a power chord shape, and that's neither major nor minor. Now suspended is where you take that third, and you either take it down, right? So from D major to open E. So now I'm adding an E to a D chord, which I just with that information alone, D suspended 2, you're adding the second note in the D scale to it. I don't know if this came from a major chord or a minor chord, right? All I know is I have a D, an A, and an E. So this is a D suspended 2, right? This could come from a D minor, or it could come from a D major. The other suspended chord would be a suspended 4 chord. That would be going through the D scale. A G, add a G to a D chord, and you would get this. D sus4. You could also see that as coming from a D minor. Or D major. So suspended chords offer a lot of kind of mystery to a chord progression, especially if you're trying to tell a story with it. And I always think of chord progressions as kind of like a way to tell a story. You know, that's just kind of my whole philosophy on like songwriting and stuff in general. A lot of people have wildly different ways of thinking about chord progressions and stuff like that. But I like to kind of stay away from the one chord in a lot of keys, right? So I could just do something from like D4 to D2, suspended 2. So I just have this D power chord with a G, and then an E, and a G, and then an E. So if I'm thinking, all right, G and E, that could work well with the E minor. E minor is E, G, and B. No resolution. D minor. And then it's like, okay, well now I've just revealed extra information that kind of like makes that chord progression. F, C, G, right? And it's like, oh, we were in the key of C all along, and it was a minor chord, right? So yeah, this is kind of how I think of just kind of telling storytelling through different chord voicings and stuff, and kind of doing stuff with intention. I think that's the main thing. Someone was asking about chord melody, and I feel like that's really my take on chord melody is whatever's on top of the chord. That's why that particular suspended thing that gets used all the time, and one of the reasons why D suspended is like the best example because it's found in a lot of popular songs. Or right, those are three massively popular songs that are really just D and its suspensions either direction. So the melody is what's moving on top. It's the highest note in the chord, right? So I think that's a great way to start thinking about melody, but also I think you can overuse that. And that's why I think exploring chord voicings throughout the neck is really the best way to understand chord melody. And then to stop and, like I said, do it with intention, be thoughtful about what you played. Right, like in certain instances, I really like the sound of major 9 chords. Not all the time. So like here's a F major 9, right? It's like, all right, it's one thing to be like, I learned a new chord voicing, I want to use it somewhere. It's like, all right, well, why do you want to use it somewhere? Let's cycle through some places you could use it. Let's pretend we're in the key of C and we're doing something where you want a F major 9 in there, right? And then so let's start C major 7. Major 7, A minor 11, to F major 9. All right, so that's one example of it. Maybe another use I could have for it is replacing an F in something, right? G, what if we did that? G, F, E minor. It's not wrong, but it doesn't really kind of flow, right? Because I feel like the chord melody has not led me here. It's a curveball, which maybe that's what you're going for. Maybe that's cool, you know? But I think with this, see that chord voicing is leading me up, ascending higher and higher, and then I can go to that G instead of maybe that G. And that's what I found really interesting about learning chord voicings and how I kind of utilize them in my playing a lot is really growing a deep hatred for the common dominant 7 chord voicings, right? That last one, G7, all right? I dislike very much this G7, okay? Great example, C major 7, A minor 11, F. After this time, we'll take it to a G. It's like, that was just so, it's like, oh, there's something about that, it's just, I don't like it, but Alright, so right there, that was a dominant chord. That was a G9 up here. And the voice has led me there, right? Instead of using... I think that's kind of cool. So that's a good example of a 5 to a 1, but that's not like a C, A minor, F, G7, C. C, A minor, F major 9. It's kind of a much more useful way. Yeah, building up the tension and releasing on the C. I think I guess that's kind of how I do it, you know. Not to say that there's no better, you know what I mean? See, Jack's got it. 1-4-5 major, 2-3-6 minor. Favorite drone note riff? What's 46 and 2? How do you play that? How do you play that? Get it? Does that count as a drone riff? It's not in drop D. I guess does that count? I know I'm not gonna drop it, but yeah, that's essentially kind of it, right? Does that count as a drone note riff? I don't know. I haven't played this song in a while, but yeah. Is it true that the guitar gets off the tune because of its nature when you move up the fretboard? You know, it can. I guess it depends on the quality of your guitar. You know, a good guitar should be in tune. I mean, you know, you can come up with like a lot of arguments. For me, yeah, this Taylor sounds great here, and these all should be in tune up here. There's a lot of discussion about maybe like guitars with fanned frets. I know some people say the intonation is better that way. I don't think that's. I thought that was deproved or something. I don't know, but whatever. Yes, definitely a setup is for sure necessary. But yeah. Why is the 3 minor chord rarely used in songs? Great question. Excellent question. So what that means is like, what song do you want to do this? What key do you want to do this in? Let's do it in the key of A. All right, so A major. A lot of songs are in the key of A major. You don't really see a ton of C sharp minor chords, right? You see more songs in the key of A than you see songs with the C sharp minor. Why is that? Because people have terrible taste. I love the 3 minor chord. 3 minor chord's fantastic. And I would say I feel like I use 3 minor chords in a lot of stuff. But I think maybe one of the reasons is, you know, I guess if we're thinking, yeah, that is kind of interesting, because if we're even if we're thinking like pentatonically, you know, you think it would still be in there. A 3 minor chord is basically the 3rd degree in a key. So like even more common, let's take the key of G, right? If we run through the chord scale, all of the chords, the main chords in the key of G, we got G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp minor, 7 flat 5, because I'm doing that for you diminished people, G, right? So I can tell you one song off the bat that uses it would be Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones. B minor to G, right? 3 to 1. And to your point, the fact that a 3 to 1 chord progression is so recognizable as like the one song to use that is very interesting to me, actually. And I'd have to actually think about why more songs don't have that. Tons of songs are, you know, 1, 6, 4, 5, like a G to a E minor to a C to a D. You know, I think you can kind of like play any song like that. But you're right, the relative minor gets way more love than, you know, the 2 chord and the 3 chord, which was basically how we started the entire thing, the entire video, with this A minor 6 chord. You know? So, yeah, I don't have a good answer as to why that is, but hey, what can I say, you know? That's what we're doing. Generally comes in the bridge. Yeah, you're definitely right. Bridges are just where the minor 3 chord lives, you know? Thanks, P.S. Can I ask if you ever had a hard time trying to master different keys on the guitar? Not something I find easy. Sure, I think so. I think it just depends, you know, when I first started playing, I had my main keys that I was good in, just basically the only chords that I knew. Once you're looking at the money keys, C, G, F, A, D, maybe B flat if you're crazy. So, you know, I think once you really start thinking of keys being populated by the same shapes, really the key that you're in doesn't really make a difference, you know? So like, I don't know, the key of like F sharp, right? It's the same thing as anything else, it's just everything gets moved. So, you know, there's your 1 chord, your 2 chord, your 3 chord, your 4 chord, your 5 chord, your 6 chord. So, you know, once you kind of start thinking about intervals that way, 1, 3, 2, 4, you know, I'm not really even thinking of the chords. I'm just thinking of these as numbers right now. You know, obviously I could put a name to them. F sharp major. What was I playing? The 3 chord. A sharp, G sharp, B, right? Major 7. But yeah, I'm thinking of these strictly as numbers off of a root note. And, you know, I guess learning arpeggios is a great way to kind of stem off from there if you're thinking about lead playing. Or learning just, you know, the pentatonic scale, different positions of it. If I were to solo in this on an electric guitar, I would just find, all right, well, here's F sharp. What's 3 notes back from an F sharp? I've got D sharp here, minor pentatonic, so on and so forth, right? I could take one major arpeggio shape, thinking, all right, the key of whatever major I'm in. This is a shape that I've learned really well that I can kind of like take off of any root note. So it's really just kind of like training your brain to like see a note. It's like, all right, whatever key that is, and then just knowing your options, you know? This arpeggio for sure lights up for me. I can run that into the correct version of its relative minor. Put that put that minor pentatonic scale on there. And then double stop through its other positions. And then just kind of end restart, you know? So yeah, essentially that is what that is, thinking in intervals, you know? I love you, man. You're so underappreciated. Hope you get what you deserve. Thanks. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's, you know, I feel appreciated. So yeah. It just hit you today about Eddie. Sometimes it takes a couple of days to sink in. Yeah, right? Oh. You know, I 100% will admit that Van Halen was kind of like a blind spot for me, guitar-wise. The reasons that I loved Van Halen were mostly David Lee Roth. Like, David Lee Roth is like the guy that I identify with in the band. That's my guy. And Eddie, just, you know, massive, massive respect. You cannot overstate how important and influential he was to so many guitar players. Oh, Gunther, thank you. Thank you so much. Expose Yourself to Kids by G.G. Allin. I don't know that song, but I can look it up and listen to it. Yeah, so you can't really overstate how important he was to guitar players. I don't feel like I was one of those guitar players. That whole scene is just like totally beyond me. Amazing player. I never really had ambitions to sound like Van Halen, but that doesn't mean I can't really appreciate and just tip my cap to the guy, because like a true innovator in a space that, you know, definitely hasn't really been known for a lot of innovation over the years. So yeah, the Van Halen thing, I had no idea he was even sick. I guess there were rumors about it. And it really kind of, I don't want to say it surprised me but I was kind of shocked by how deeply people were like hurt by his passing. I was like, wow, like it really kind of, you know, made things sink in, that like just how influential this guy was. Because like I think, you know, prime Van Halen was a little bit before my time. I went through a little bit of the discography the other day when it happened. Was that yesterday even? I don't even know. 2 days ago, I guess. And it's crazy how many hits were on Van Halen 1, the first album. The first album is like a greatest hits album. It's just absolutely insane. Like, I think all their best songs are like on there. And then if you look at 1984, which I was born in 83, so, you know, I didn't really understand when 1984 came out how huge that was. And to me, like, the intro to Jump is almost kind of like ironically, I enjoy it ironically. And songs like Panama, I enjoy ironically more than legitimately. But like, Ice Cream Man is like my favorite Van Halen song. It's so good. The dude is like amazing. So yeah, I'm just kind of now learning how much of a blind spot his playing was. And, you know, not that I didn't appreciate him, but just incredible guy, you know. Yeah, so I think, yeah, he was just kind of on his way out where people my age were coming up. So, so Kurt Cobain was the greatest guitar ever. You know, I don't think so. I think there's a little bit of something. I was listening to a podcast with Chuck Klosterman, who I really like. He was on the Bill Simmons podcast a couple of days ago talking about Eddie. And he said some things that like I 100% agree with. That the thing about Van Halen, kind of like how I said, is like everybody has a reason to enjoy Van Halen. You can like it for the musicianship, which is like elite. You can like it just for like the hijinks, which is some of the all-time best. You know, like women loved Van Halen, men loved Van Halen. It wasn't like a niche band. Like everybody had a reason to like them. And I think one of the things that maybe it's not the most accessible music for guitar players to get into was because it's, you know, you really have to like be pretty good to play any Van Halen song near a recognizable way. Whereas, you know, you can play guitar for a month and you can slaughter your way through some Zeppelin songs. You know, obviously it's not going to sound like how Jimmy Page played it, but you can play the songs relatively quickly. Whereas that kind of accessibility is not really true with Van Halen. So I think to a certain extent, what somebody said about Kurt Cobain was Kurt Cobain was never, you know, I guess even though I was a kid of the 90s or whatever, I never really, he wasn't an influence on my playing either. My playing is mostly influenced by Jimi Hendrix and Elliott Smith, which again, they don't have a lot in common, but just kind of like the songwriting, chord voicings, arrangement of Elliott Smith is, I just think, the top level of anything in that genre, which I guess is more of my genre. And then just kind of like the, I don't know, just the fun lick pentatonic bluesiness of Jimi Hendrix and Jimmy Page were more of like my guys. And I think that just translates to like maybe beginners learning a little bit more and kind of getting into the music of like Hendrix and Zeppelin. Whereas I definitely know that students I've had that maybe are like teenagers now, they see Zeppelin as Hendrix and Hendrix as the guitar music more than they see Van Halen as like guitar music. So that's why it'll really be interesting to see how Van Halen's music stands the test of time, just because they don't, the guitar players that are carrying the torch of that music are great players, you know what I mean? And there's way more beginner players than there are great players. So that's why it'll be interesting to see how they're remembered, you know? So I thought it was really interesting how Chuck Klosterman kind of brought that up. But yeah. Why do you say Kurt's name like that? Kurt Cobain? I don't know. Kurt Cobain? Do I say Kurt Cobain? Where's the accent? Where's the emphasis? I'm not an undercover Gilmore guy. Oh, jobs you've had outside YouTube? Oh man, that's... You got a few minutes? So, I grew up, my first job was working for my dad because my parents, we moved from Chicago. My mom was like, she had a cool banking job in Chicago, and my dad was in the hospitality industry. So they had this idea that they wanted to run like a hotel restaurant in a very small city in Wisconsin. So we moved from the city, Beverly Hillbillies style, reverse Beverly Hillbillies style, from Chicago to Adams Friendship, Wisconsin. And we had like this hotel, actually. So I was working at the hotel/bar restaurant as like a kid. So like a bartender, I was like a waiter, doing hotel things. And it was very charming for like a small city hotel type deal. And then when we moved after that, my mom moved us to Grand Haven, Michigan, which is the person that shouted out Muskegon earlier. That's how I know about Muskegon. And when I was in high school at Grand Haven, I worked at the YMCA. I was teaching like basketball, camp counseling. I was reffing basketball games because basketball is a huge part of my life too. I worked at the Y for a few years. Then I was a deck cook and a waiter at that place, at a place in Grand Haven. I worked at Victoria's Secret in the mall for one summer in college, which if you haven't seen the video about me working at Victoria's Secret, definitely check that out because I talk about it with Banana Blondie and it's one of the funniest videos. So I got my Victoria's Secret reps in. I worked at a mini golf course for a while. I worked at Blockbuster Video for a couple years through college. Then I graduated college and I moved to Vegas with some friends. Then I worked at a real estate office, almost as like a secretary kind of deal. And then I worked at Apple, retail, and Guitar Center. I worked at Guitar Center for a few years. That was very interesting. I helped my buddy out at a recording studio. My buddy Logan, who's been on the channel a couple times, he had a recording studio in Las Vegas, and I worked there for a little bit. So I learned a lot of stuff there. And I also worked at a golf course called The Concession here. I caddied for about a year. And then after that, that was really interesting, caddying. I learned a lot there. And I got kind of good at golf for a while, but then I decided like golf takes too much time and money to really do when you're trying to be a musician. So I kind of semi-retired from golf. But still a basketball guy, by the way. I play basketball as often as I can. It's like 2 times a week now, but I wish it were more. And then after that, I started teaching guitar. And then I kind of parlayed that into being a full-time musician slash YouTuber, whatever. Busking, I haven't busked that often. I've busked a little bit. Me and Pasha used to do it on the Circle here. We have a place called St. Armand's, very touristy here. Me and Pasha would busk. Pasha, the violin player, on my channel. If you guys haven't seen him, that's always cool. There you go. Is LeBron the GOAT? Get out of here with that nonsense. LeBron is not the GOAT. Respect to LeBron, but MJ's the GOAT. Come on, get out of here. Yes, I've had many different jobs. I'm probably even forgetting jobs that I've had. But yeah. PGA member here? Oh, for real? Nice. Yeah, so you probably know about The Concession. The Concession is a Jack Nicklaus course. He designed it with Tony Jacklin. And I actually got to caddy for Tony Jacklin, and he gave me a golf lesson, and that was pretty awesome. Just like the kindest, most elegant British man you'll ever meet. So that was fun. So yeah, Mop Floyd, sounds like you know your stuff if you're a PGA member. Anyways. Yeah, Bastion knows. LeBron the GOAT. It's, you know, I saw a tweet, I forget who tweeted it out the other day. But someone talking about how we evaluate LeBron for all the things that he's not instead of appreciating him for the things that he is. And I totally agree with that. There's a lot about LeBron's game that I just get super annoyed by. The whining and the flopping and kind of like I don't know. But again, this is nitpicking one of the all-time greats and who I think is really kind of like a great guy. Like he's done so many great things for the community. I would never say that I'm like a LeBron fan, but I'm not really a LeBron hater either. Jimmy Butler is my guy, so I think you know where my loyalties lie in this series, which is not over, by the way. I love how everybody says, oh, 3-1 series is over. No, it's not. Game 4 was a coin flip. They have Bam back. I think it's going to be a competitive series still. But, yeah. You watched an 81 and gave a MasterClass. So you go, oh, so you know about Jacklin. Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah. Heat in 7? I don't know. I still think it'll be Lakers in 6. But I've been saying, I was talking about this with my boy Fabian today. I've been saying that Jimmy Butler is a top 5 NBA player for like 5 years now. And everybody laughed at me. They said I was an idiot. Jimmy Butler, top 5? No, Jimmy Butler is amazing. Again, I'm from Chicago, so I'm a Bulls fan. So I've kind of followed Jimmy's whole career. And Jimmy Butler is just a winning basketball player. And I'm super proud of it. I'm super proud that he's actually getting some of the shine. So, Jimmy Butler, go Heat. What are the most popular chord progressions used today? Any combination of 1, 4, 5, 6. You know, that's it. So C to G, F. Maybe throw in a 6, A minor. And the thing about today's music is like a lot of times the chords don't even change. Like the verse chords will be the same as the chorus chords. You know, and again, I'm talking strictly pop music. There's so much good music out there. People are like, oh, music sucks nowadays. It's like, well, pop music is more basic than ever, but there's a lot of great music out there. I was listening to Masita today. If you've never listened to Masita, that's a guy who's like underground, who does not get enough credit, for sure. He's got an album called With Love from Lanakai, I think is how you pronounce it. And I would definitely recommend that because it's really, really great. Thoughts on PRS Student Edition guitars? I honestly, I don't know. I've never tried one. But most PRS guitars are really well made, so I would assume that the Student Edition guitars are the same, you know? Can I play classical gas? I've never actually learned that, so no, I cannot play it. But, you know, people seem to like that kind of thing. Again, I'm an alternative singer-songwriter at my heart. I've been made to learn these songs for these gigs that we do. But the hardest song that I've played, I always thought that Condor Avenue by Elliott Smith was like a tough one. That's kind of a tough move. She took the Oldsmobile out past Condor Avenue. Fairgrounds lit a drunk man sings. By the gate she's driving through. Got a set-tip bottle back in between his teeth. Looks like he's buried in the sand down at the beach. I can't think about you driving off to leave Bailey Way. Take a little nap while the road's still straight. A sick shouting like you'll hear at the fairgrounds. Now I'm looking to put away anything of yours that's still around. And I don't know what to do with the clones or your letters, but it'll make a whisper out of you. She took the Oldsmobile out past Condor Avenue. The cops were running around the scene, looking for some kind of clue. They never get uptight when a moth gets crushed, unless the light bulb really loved him very much. I'm lying down, blowing smoke from a cigarette. Little whisper smoke signs you'll never get. It's a very abbreviated version of Condor Avenue. I remember that took me a long time to really get down. I guess that's kind of hard. I don't know. I definitely will do a gig vlog once we are back and running. I have not played at the Circle recently, but it seems like things are starting to kind of pick up a little bit. Who is your favorite and least favorite singer who's been on my channel? I gotta say that Katie Lau is for sure my favorite singer I've ever had on the channel. Least favorite singer would have to be Andreas Collin. Thank you for the question, Katie. So good to see you. Play something awful. I don't know. Where did Davidas go? Davidas, he just took the money and ran. He took the Acoustasonic and he went home. But yeah, in fact, I think Davidas is actually probably going to go live on his channel now. So get ready for that because I kind of want to watch that. If you've never seen his live streams are awesome. In fact, I should really ask Davidas to teach me his live stream setup. Just because it seems like a lot of fun the way he kind of like loops stuff and just kind of like does live versions of different songs and stuff. So I'm going to peace out because I want to make room for the king to do his thing. So definitely stop over by his channel whenever he goes live. It probably should be in the next 30 minutes. Maybe he's live right now. I don't even know. But check him out. And make sure you tell him that SD sent you. So thanks for hanging out. People in Florida do wear masks. Most people. Just there. And yeah, definitely I gotta do some more Elliott Smith songs or videos coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks a lot.